If you'll be my friend rabbit, I'll be yours.
The Velveteen Rabbit is a classic. I don't think there's a child that grows up in America that hasn't read or had the Velveteen Rabbit read to them.
You have to believe it. Everything that is real was imagined first.
It has a great morality. It's very simple. I read the story years ago to my kids. I love the story.
It's not about what you look like or whether you're shiny or new. It's just such a beautiful story about love and about what's important in life.
God bless Father. Bless my mother in heaven with you.
Young Toby is dealing with grief and is being sent away to this very cold, austere world. Why doesn't he have a mom and a dad to love? The grandmother just sends him off to an attic all by himself to amuse himself. I think that for our audience is just even more frightening because you can't imagine being sent off into a cold, dark place where there's a bunch of dusty toys.
Sometimes, in order to really be able to define yourself, who and what you are, you have to have extremes. Sometimes you don't really know love without hate or discomfort without comfort.
Henry! Bring him in, Henry!
I'm sorry, Master Toby.
No! Please, Henry!
Toby, in real life, is in need of a fantasy world and finds it in the attic with the rabbit. And then we're able to go into the Velveteen Rabbit story. I think that mixing the live action and the animation really helps the story.
Johnny! I knew you'd come back. Hey, you're not Johnny.
Animated features seem to be the most accessible stories for the most part.
I thought it was very clever, the way that they were able to take the traditional story and turn it into something that was more dramatic.
Take me to the train station. I will not be staying after all.
But sir, the next train doesn't leave for several hours.
I'm well aware of that.
In the Velveteen Rabbit, the adults, so-called real people, the responsible people, tend not to want to feel. They don't feel well.
I will not put up with an uncontrollable child.
We see how grown-ups have maybe an even harder time processing grief than young children. And I think when children appreciate that grown-ups have to process grief as well, they realize that they can help one another by doing it together. You can't stay in a sad place forever. You acknowledge it, you process it, and you move on, and you open your heart to the possibility that you can find love and that you can express love. I always say that when your heart is open, love will always find its way in.
In the Velveteen Rabbit, certainly it's saying, don't give up on love. Don't think it never will come back in your life. And it comes back in different ways than you expect it to, but it will come back. You have to allow it through your own feelings, through your own way of living.
I think the message that's really important for people today in this film is to live with an open heart.
Hope, for all of us, the kind of hope we need. I can believe in this.